As promised, today I'm going to show you how to make an adorable sundress for any doll that you want in just a few minutes. Yesterday I put out a quick short on how to create the dress shown here on the Smart Doll. Today we're going to do that same construction steps, slowed down just a little bit in case you have questions, for the Ellowyne doll. The doll that's going to be our model for our summer dress today is going to be the Divine Inspiration Ellowyne. I've taken her bust measurements, which is 6.75 inches, and I'm timesing that by 2 to give me a total of 13.5. This measurement right here is 7 inches, and I plan on cutting this rectangle on the fold. So the next step is to take your measuring tape and to determine how long you want the finished edge of the garment to be. In this case, it's going to be about 6.5 inches in length. So I'm going to go ahead and add 1/2 inch, which would indicate a 1/4 inch seam allowance on the top as well as the bottom. And this is actually 7 inches for the length right here. What we end up with is a rectangle, which is 14 inches wide and 7 inches long. If you are working with a larger doll and you're not able to cut the fabric out in one continuous piece, you can piece it together with a seam. That's it. It's hard to believe that this simple piece is going to turn into an adorable sundress. From here, we're going to hem the top and bottom edge of the rectangle. With the rectangle hemmed both on the top edge and the lower edge, I've gone ahead with my heat erasable marker and marked down 2.5 inches, which is what I determined I wanted the shirring depth to be on the actual dress. You could at this point mark each shirred row with your heat erasable marker, but in this case I'm going to use my 1/4 inch presser foot as a guide, starting from that upper edge and working the rows down until I get to that heat erasable line. Next, we'll grab an empty bobbin and wind on the elastic. I got this roll off of Amazon. It was super inexpensive, and if you need a reference to that, there is a link in the description below. Once you have your bobbin in hand, you're going to hold the tail of the actual elastic and just carefully start winding. You don't want to put a lot of tension on the elastic, but you don't want it to be loose either. So I recommend going back and forth just the same way that your sewing machine would be filling that bobbin. And once you get it sort of going, it's easier to roll it, I think, than it is to actually continue to go over and under. Once I have the elastic wound onto my bobbin, I'm just going to grab my bobbin casing and make sure that as I slide it up the guide, that I bring it into the actual hole right here with a little bit of a tail so I can catch it with my upper sewing machine thread. With the elastic bobbin set in the casing, I'm going to start my shirring. I'm setting my presser foot right along the finished edge, and I'm going to go ahead and do the first row. You're going to want to adjust your stitch length to a longer stitch. In this case, I'm using a 5. You want to start each row with a couple of back stitches, and you want to end each row with a couple of back stitches as well. So now that we've got that started, let's go ahead and shear all the way down to the line as indicated on the fabric. Once you've completed all your shirring, you want to go ahead and grab your iron, make sure it has a little bit of water in it, and just give a little steam to those elastic rows, and that will help to tighten them up quite a bit, as you can see here. Now I did stop within 1/4 inch of that back edge, and that's where we're going to put our center back seam. So I put a few pins in the back to see where that center back seam was so that we can get a quick fit to the doll. And I actually think it looks pretty good. I have noticed in making this actual dress though that you do want to consider what the chest of the doll is going to be like. With Ellowyne, she doesn't have much of a chest to actually hold that shirring up. So in this case, you may decide to add some straps, which is what I think I'll do after I sew the center back seam. Then we'll get our final pictures and we'll be finished with our project. Since I do think the dress will fit Ellowyne a little bit better if we add some straps, I went ahead and just sewed a couple of 1/4 inch tubes, and I'm just going to give it a quick turn with my fast turn tube turner, as well as the end of a doll stand, which I've shown in several different videos, but it's a really, really easy way. to get the strap turned. Once you have the strap turned and have it pressed, a nice easy way to create a bow at the shoulder is to actually tie the bow in your strap and then attach each end to the front and back of the bodice. It can be helpful when you get the bow to just the right size that you just run a little tack stitch through it to make sure that it doesn't become untied. And then you can just simply attach it where you feel like it's going to be appropriate at the shoulder and connect it both on the front and on the back. The thing about this dress that I really like is it's super easy to construct, and when you finish the product, because it does have the elastic waist, it will fit several of your favorite similar size fashion dolls. I hope this quick tutorial encourages you to try some shirring for your favorite fashion doll. If you need some additional information about shirring, I'll leave a link in the description below to an additional video. I also have a pattern called Retail Therapy, which shows you how to make a sheared dress with long sleeves as well as a top. I really appreciate you guys coming along with me today. Please hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video.